get rid of the trash. It means like you kick somebody out. I mean, it doesn't mean to actually kill somebody, but that you're still on. And by the way, all of these MAGA people in the past have posts saying 86 this person, 86 that person. And now the former FBI director James Comey posted a photo of seashells that said 8647. And y'all are making this like the main thing you talk about and whine about, because inherently not only is MAGA just a dangerous movement, it is a whiny, it is a bunch of babies. No offense to babies. Oh, and then Donald Trump posts this photograph of New York Attorney General Letitia James this morning. And he writes, a sick and horrible woman who also happens to be grossly incompetent. And then before he went to sleep last night, if he even did, he posted this video of himself. But here's a photo of what he posted, like holding a guitar and playing. And this is an AI image of himself. So after Donald Trump attacked Bruce Springsteen, because Bruce Springsteen criticized Donald Trump selling out the working class and destroying factories and destroying American jobs and shilling for the billionaire class at Mar-a-Lago that Donald Trump is part of, Donald Trump has this Bruce Springsteen complex, so he's posting that. There's about 10 more posts like that. You get the point. So when I say Donald Trump is spiraling, I want to just give you the objective exhibits. None of this will be covered at all on corporate media. If you, and I'm sure you don't even watch them anymore, any of the morning shows don't even reference that. They're talking about, did you think that Biden was this? Did you think that Biden, that's what they're talking about. Hello, I would say that on any given day, if we're talking about cognitive stuff, Donald Trump does 30 things that have me far more concerned than any scintilla of a thing I saw when Biden was in office. And why are we talking about that anyway? Donald Trump is engaged in a hostile takeover of our democracy. He's out there taking bribes from the Qataris. He's out there crashing our economy. They're out there trying to do this tax bill that's going to give trillions in tax cuts for the billionaires and take away people's Medicaid. You know what the commander-in-chief, by the way, should be talking about right now, instead of all of these posts that he's making, these QAnon posts? There have been, close to 20, right around 20 deaths in Kentucky, Indiana, Missouri, and Illinois right now from horrific tornadoes and storms. You'll recall Donald Trump previously denied FEMA aid to Kentucky, to Arkansas, to Georgia, to North Carolina, to other states that needed it. And one of the things that we've now learned, and I'll do a whole other video on this, is that DOGE has ripped apart, as you know, the National Weather Service and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, who help predict the forecast. So people in Kentucky were not even getting the forecast of these tornadoes and these storms until about 20 minutes to 30 minutes before the storms hit. I truly blame Donald Trump for those deaths. And maybe corporate media, they want to talk about Biden. Donald Trump, just in my opinion, murdered at least 16 to 20 people, and he doesn't even talk about it. By the way, has he mentioned once, other than one time when he was prompted and didn't know what the hell he was even talking about, the troops who died in Lithuania, the troops who died at in New Mexico when Trump sent them to the border so he can make some propaganda statement to Mexico? Does he mention that ever? No, they actually have a gag order that the military is not allowed to talk about deaths and casualties in the Red Sea in connection with America's war against Yemen. Did you know that they actually have a gag order? You're not allowed to mention any type of casualties at all. By the way, this morning you have Kash Patel, the FBI director, and Dan Bongino, the deputy FBI director. These are the two people who now lead the FBI. They were right-wing conspiracy theorist nutbags who ran like nutbag right-wing podcasts and spread conspiracies and lies. These are the people running the FBI. They were both interviewed together. They had a dual interview for Maria Bartiromo, and they were asked, so did Jeffrey Epstein really kill himself, or was someone else involved in it? Let me show you what their answer is. Play this clip.
You said Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide. People don't believe it. Well, I mean, listen, they have a right to their opinion, but as someone who has worked as a public defender, as a prosecutor, who's been in that prison system, who's been in the Metropolitan Detention Center, who's been in segregated housing, you know a suicide when you see one, and that's what that was.
He killed himself. You want me to? I've seen the whole file. He killed himself.
I know it's hard work.
Okay. By the way, it's right-wing people like you who were saying a very different thing before. And also, where are the Epstein files? Where are they? Release them. Didn't you say you were going to release them, 100 days ago, 120 days ago? Wasn't that one of the promises? Oh, wait, Donald Trump was best friends with Epstein. So now you don't want to talk about that anymore. You don't want to mention that. By the way, I think it's important that when I do this analysis, I kind of reflect where people are getting their news from in general as well. Like, take a look right here. One of the things I was telling you is that this Trump budget bill, remember I said it was going to fail in the budget committee before it ended up failing. I said they don't have the votes in the budget committee. MAGA Mike doesn't have the votes because the MAGA Republicans want to see more cuts to Medicaid than are even being made right now. They basically want it totally gone. And right now it's only like 13 million people will lose their health care. But other MAGA Republicans want to see everybody basically lose their health care. They want more than $880 billion in cuts to Medicaid. So just take a look at this. There's a feature on something called Ground News, which is the research tool I use. It's called Blind Spot. And it says Trump's big bill faces next hurdle in Congress as GOP conservatives warn they may not vote for it. So this was earlier in the week. Take a look at this. This was being reported in terms of the amount of coverage. Left-wing media reported on a 43% of the time. Quote unquote center media reported on a 57% of the time. Not a single right-wing outlet was reporting on this because they viewed that as, oh, if we report anything negative on Donald Trump, then he's going to get mad at us. And then what ended up happening? The bill failed, and it's one of the big disasters that Donald Trump is dealing with right now, that his quote-unquote big, beautiful bill is a massive disaster. Remember, we're heading towards another issue where if they don't raise the debt ceiling, America's going to default on its debt, which has already been downgraded by Moody's. We're approaching that deadline again. We're approaching another government shutdown deadline again. And the MAGA Republicans are absolutely doing nothing. That's why I think it's important that you use these research tools the way I do them. The one I just used there is called Ground News. It's my favorite research tool. And I think it's essential nowadays to kind of see through any double standards in the current media ecosphere. Here's what you got to do. Go to ground.news/MTN or scan the QR code. We're giving our viewers 40% off Ground News' top tier Vantage plan, which will get you unlimited access to everything I've shown you and more. Again, I think Ground News is essential nowadays. It's subscriber funded, so they don't rely on ads that could also introduce bias. Subscribing supports our channel and their independent team working to keep the media transparent. Go to ground.news/MTN or scan the QR code and get that 40% off Ground News top tier Vantage plan. Thank you, Ground News. Speaking of trying to understand what's going on in right-wing and left-wing echo chambers, you take a look here what Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said this morning on Meet the Press when he was asked about accepting luxury planes from Qatar, from Donald Trump accepting these luxury planes from Qatar. He said, actually, what we should realize is that it's Biden's fault. Biden wanted the jets. So now they're blaming Biden for the Qatari jets to Donald Trump bribes. Huh? Okay. Play this clip.
It sends the wrong message. It sends the wrong message and raises concerns ethically, raises concerns constitutionally, and about security. Why is it appropriate for the president to accept a $400 million jet from Qatar?
Well, it's not the president accepted, it'd be the United States government. And Senator Mullins said this weekend that the talks had actually begun under the Biden administration. So, but Kristen, what I can tell you is I think this is a off-ramp for many in the media not to acknowledge what an incredible trip this was. That President Trump has brought back trillions of investments in the United States. Every stop we made, that the enthusiasm in Saudi Arabia, in Qatar, in the United Arab Arab Emirates to invest in the United States, that they want to push more and more their funds here. And if we go back to your initial question on the Moody's downgrades, who cares? Qatar doesn't, Saudi doesn't, UAE doesn't. They're all pushing